good morning, good noon, good evening. Whatever time and place you're listening to us from, straight from the 909, it's Mark, Andre, and myself, Isaiah. Together, that's hip-hop. Gentlemen, the day has come. We are finally about to talk about the man, the myth, the legend of B.E.N.F.I.T.
Behold B.E.N.F.I.T.
What's there to say about B.E.N.F.I.T? I mean, there's not much you can really say about
we have nothing.
We have nothing. We have no documents.
Yeah,
we have no information.
We know he's dope. Like
he's like an urban
That's all we
legend.
have written down on our research is he's really
Urban
good.
legend, dope lyricist.
Who has a B.E.N.F.I.T CD?
I did. I had one.
Like
that's the thing is
I had a B.E.N.F.I.T CD.
This was solely distributed by CD-ROM. Like,
right. Yeah, it went platinum via CD-ROM.
Right.
Yeah.
With the laser printed cover.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It was like ahead of his time, man. So yeah, B.E.N.F.I.T, if you were to describe him, urban legend.
Yeah, but in the same respect, like it's kind of beautiful in a way. Like this, I was telling Mark, it's like such an anomaly to have. Everybody knows about the guy, but nobody knows something about him. You know,
he had 2002 word of mouth. Yeah. Which is incredible. You have very limited accessibility to everyone. So word of mouth had to spread, and his album releases in 2002, the special edition one. I don't know when it releases actually. You know what?
The real one.
We're
I don't know when the real one released.
Word around the herd is that it's 2002 and we're hearing about this guy called B.E.N.F.I.T. And then my first thing is like, what, is he a local guy? Is this guy local? Everyone for a couple of...
it sounded like he could be local.
There was a couple of instances where people were pretending to be B.E.N.F.I.T.
Right.
It's like everyone was able to use this disguise.
Yeah.
It's the gentleman is quite the mystery, but now he's the most easily accessible mystery.
Right.
Yeah,
it took me 10 minutes to find him on YouTube.
Yeah, we got an update on him on YouTube all quick.
Yeah,
like saw the guy,
what he's doing, how he looks. Like. Yeah,
totally.
That was another thing. I didn't know what he looked like, so that was perfect.
Yeah.
Around the time that it actually dropped, I actually had the real legit CD because for some reason, I can't remember if it was part of this pack that my buddy had gave me. It was just all these burnt CDs I told you about, or I actually got it from somebody on campus. Like somebody was just giving out the CD, and I remember somebody was just passing about a bunch of these CDs. And I remember it was B.E.N.F.I.T. It was just the word B.E.N.F.I.T. And it had that cheap cover on it. It was really cheap at the time. It was bad. It wasn't like professional. It was bad, bro. And I remember hearing it and just, it was something different, man. So he was an urban legend, but I never knew what he looked like. He just always reminded me of my favorites.
I wanted to kind of keep it like that.
Yeah. Like
all
the image of what he
name.
looks like in my head is like a blurred face. I don't want to see what he looks like.
just a blurred face. Yeah, I mean, it's that's the thing about it. It's like all you need to know is the name, man. Like that enough. You know the legend of B.E.N.F.I.T.
I imagine a guy in the booth, like you know how they do these inside edition interviews where the guy spilling the details is all cloaked, and you only see his hand gestures in a dark shadow. I picture him in the booth like that. Yeah. But now I see his face, and I'm like, this kind of
it kind of humanized him. It humanized him. He's like, you know, he's kind of like just this faceless figure to me, you know. The album cover is iconic to me because of just that presentation. Is that little cheap mic and all that. It shit.
Represents it's the epitome of that time. Like that's how I was telling Mark. That's the same mic that me and Jesse used for Kinetics. Like we use that same mic. That's what we're rapping out of, you know. And then the what he has to represent the computer. Like it's just. That embodies like that's the way we did it. We did it at home. We did it on the computer, you know, and we just plugged in our mics and like went at it. Like, but it's incredible because his production is like really immaculate. Like it's tight.
I think the main fact I heard about that album is that all of it was done via sound recorder.
Oh, gee.
So
I wouldn't doubt that.
It's like the fully independent project, like really. And at the time, I mean, of course there were other better ones, but something about this one, it just felt like he was our age, and it felt like he was in our position. So we were all doing the same thing at the same time. And this was before like I myself personally took rap anywhere, you know. So I was just a listener and enjoying it. But I definitely remember just having that album being passed around and multiple people loving this album, and then he disappears and we never hear from them again, right? And it's like he's the echo now, and there's just this echo. And I remember, even at the Jedi Mind Tricks, he's like Benefit, and people knew.
Oh my God!
People knew what he was talking about.
Reminded me of that.
Yeah, people knew what he was talking about.
Bring out Benefit.
Yeah, right? And people were like looking around, like where?
It was like Benefit was gonna show up.
Yeah. Bigger picture though, for the time being, he sounded like us at our age. He felt like us at our age, and he was lyrically ahead of everything. Yeah. And then production-wise, the Mario joint, I think that's probably how I got there. I really think that's what it was. I think it was the Mario joint. I heard that first, and at the time, you know, beats. I was doing beats. Yeah, I wasn't rapping. I was doing beats. So the Mario beat, I just was like, what? And then he, in the raps and the beat, he synced them in a lot of places. And at the time, that was like impossible to me. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, cool. And then everything from there, he was like my secret. Pause. You know.
What about you, Mark? Well, how did you catch on to him to Benefit? I remember you
passing him. Yeah, it was just like you ended up finding. Everyone had the one burnt CD that they acquire, and I had to borrow a burnt CD from somebody. And like, yeah, this guy's name is Benefit. I'm like, is he a local guy? Was he like, who is this guy? I'm hearing it, and I'm like, damn, is he local? Like, crap. Like, we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And because the audio quality would lead you to believe that this guy is
he went to our school
or something like that.
It felt like he was in
looking in class, giving like eyes. Maybe it was the mystique went around too. I mean, it was like building a custom character, because everyone would give him certain attribute. He died. He's actually alive. What ethnicities Benefit? There's all these questions before we even have the real answer.
Yeah.
And the one thing that really stood out was the fact is like we were all genuinely curious about this gentleman because of his skill set.
Skills.
Yeah.
We're all trying to be these. We're in love with hip hop. We're trying to be these rappers. And we listen to this gentleman that's like, damn, that's where I want to be lyrically. Like, it's not about boasting about material things, because matter of fact, I don't even have these material things. The only thing I got is the poetry.
Yeah. And his creative edge, he has very unique angles. I mean, songs about Mario, songs about having a midget.
Yeah.
Songs about, you know, his personal angle, how he feels about the streets, him growing up, the story about him being on the bus, you know. So he did everything, right? And the way I looked at the album was, it didn't feel like some guy trying to get signed in the industry. Yeah. It really felt like he went to our school. Where is he really from, by the way? Where's he really from?
Everywhere.
He's from the all zone.
There's a bit of Benefit inside all of us.
It's like he's like Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty.
I felt like he did the
he was always here.
He was always here. But he sacrificed himself for our sins. I feel that he does the biggest lyrical spirit bomb, throws it at this unsung enemy, and then just disappears off the planet.
Yeah,
and then
only
to resurrect on YouTube and have like.
And I'm totally fine with that.
Recent updates.
I'm totally fine with all of that. Like I'm happy with the legend of Benefit. You know what I mean? Like. I'm when he gave us that year or whatever.
I like that point you bring up.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people want to figure out if Bigfoot's actually around, right?
Right.
Exactly.
So no one's really going to be doing this cross country
Right.
trek. No one's going to be really doing this radar scanning through Oregon. No one's really going to do the same thing with Benefit. People like the mystery of Benefit.
It's like the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of killed it for myself, like where I just uncovered that.
You looked for him.
Yeah, I just found him. But in the instance where it's like, maybe we just keep the mystery alive in our hearts now, I guess.
Exactly.
For the people that don't know, yeah, he's still a mystery. Let that live.
Wait, so keep him a mystery. Don't go to any of his rap shows.
Don't
look at him.
Don't try to look him out. Don't try to support him.
Don't give him any attention, guys.
He's immortalized with the special edition.
Don't listen to any follow-ups.
Yeah, don't go to his shows. Stupid.
Only if he does the expected thing that I want him to do is a benefit concert.
Ooh,
wow.
Okay.
Like the benefit concert.
For the benefit of benefit.
For the benefit of benefit.
Benefit concert. Yeah, I got you.
Oh my
I'm gonna
God.
say the way I found him, I was downloading beats. I came across Warp to Worlds 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, I was getting like horny for beats. Like that was how that was how much I was like looking for beats. And so when I found that, I was just like, yes, let's go. But then and then I found Proceed with Caution. I found the instrumental.
That was a good grab too,
without
by the way.
Without hearing Benefit, mind you.
Right.
Had I heard Benefit, I
would've
probably
stepped
never
back.
would have recorded on that. But no, I didn't. And so then after the fact, then I think I caught wind of Benefit. I think first on I'll just call it Bowser's Castle just for the sake of me making it easier. But I heard him on that, and I was just like, dude. Like okay, so people have done video games, concepts before, but it's unlike what you might think of it. Like, okay, that's kind of lame. The way Benefit flips it is like iller than whatever you've heard before. Like if you haven't heard Benefit flip it, listen to him flip it. It's iller than anything you've heard before on a video game track.
Yeah,
probably the best video game track I think there's even like been done, but. That's my opinion. But yeah, that's the way I came about him. And just the first time experiencing him, I was just like flooded with the flurry of just like, like, I felt like it was Big Pun in a sense. Like he was just coming at you.
Yeah.
And man, I was eating that up because I was just like, dude is sick. Yeah. He's ill, man. And that inspired me because I'm like, all right, now I got to like get back because he felt like he was our age group. So it's just like, okay.
It felt like us.
Yeah. So
like somebody we could have hung with. And I think that's what made him cool, man. He just kind of felt close enough.
Yeah.
Even I don't know where he's really from. And I think that's a cool move. Like if he's not from California, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be crazy.
He's from Fontana. He's from over and grew up in Walnut Village with Selfie and those guys.
I think that's a dope way to have a legend, man. You live out in Milwaukee somewhere and people think, in California, you live near them, and you're the one that distribute the CD. Come on now.
Who's this street team that?
I don't know. I just remember somebody at school must have thought it was dope. I think somebody thought it was dope, and they were just like sliding them. They were just trying, like, yo, you like rap?
I haven't heard a genuine interview of anyone actually getting down to the nitty gritty of how that album caught wildfire. Because if you think about it, more than likely, that album went coast to coast, whichever coast he was at. If he did it from Washington, it went down to Florida. If it went down from Florida, it went all the way down to like the west side of Canada.
Right. How did it? Yeah, I never thought about that.
New York down to LA.
How did we get our hands on it?
So it's like,
because that was the birth as well, though, too, of the internet and all that and ripping. So it was like,
but it was so new that it was like,
but how does that word exchange to
idea? Like, it wasn't like something we were like,
true.
We were intending, like, or like everybody today, right? They would try to put their music out online naturally. That's what you're supposed to do. Right. But back then it was like kind of crazy. So I didn't even believe that he had put his album online. I got it only by CD. So that's why I thought he was somebody in IE. I didn't know. Even now, I didn't look where he was from. I kept the mystery alive. I didn't want to know. But that's so sad. Like you're not even able to continue your legacy because people want you to be missing. But I just like the idea. Like he just, to me, he was like a fucking rocket, bro. Like he completely took off and handled business. I like the spirit bomb.
Benefits watches. Fuck these guys. Yeah.
So what was our first track? We didn't even deliberate on the.
So our first track, I know Mark and I went with Sick. Then after that we have Proceed with Caution. I believe we all got that. And then we all got Warp to World 6-9.
So we good.
Yeah, and then you have Play, right?
Yeah, but either way, it's like I just added that one because I wasn't sure. I couldn't find the name that you guys had. I was listening to the Spotify one. I was like, well, Bowser's missing. That sucks.
There's a
and that's the main one.
The Spotify special edition.
So Nintendo Nintendo took it off of Spotify.
Yeah, so there's different versions we were talking about of this album.
But yeah, but on the YouTube version, yeah. So yeah, Bowser's Castle. But yeah, so what I thought was cool about this album too, just really quick before we get into Sick, was that right from the beginning he has the battle rap stuff. So it's like you're coming in hot, like very
battle rap, boom. And then you kind of think, okay, maybe it's just one dimensional. You would think that in a way, but as you continue on, like Andre was mentioning, he's pretty like well rounded. And he hits multiple subjects that is like, it's like, wow, dude, like he went from being battle rap to being humorous, making some like tracks that are pretty funny, including the Mario Brothers joint, and like Andre was mentioning, the midget one, and then he goes into some serious topics.
Yeah,
you know?
my story is kind of his Dance with the Devil, Immortal Technique
I
song.
believe is another good one. I mean, there's plenty there, and on top of that, the production's actually pretty good. Like, you know, considering the times and everything, like.
This is the rippling effect of what that album brought,
right?
Because we're here 2 decades later discussing about this guy who took over, who had, you know, he's Icarus, close to the sun, you know, but in this instance, his wings didn't melt and he's still flying around.
He flew past the sun. He flew through it.
By the way, I should say that, like, obviously we, of course, I think agreed to, like, still, I mean, give him his daps and all that stuff. Like, not saying to not support him, obviously. Of course
absolutely,
not.
absolutely.
You know,
I think
we
say the whole mystery thing in jest because it was for a long time from the moment we discovered Benefit. There's a good decade and a half where no one legitimately knew where he was at.
Right.
And I hope he comes into the TikTok things. I've been here, or like something.
And you said he's dropped new music too. I think I saw something in 2019.
Yeah, so on his YouTube, there's like 5-year timestamps on stuff, and then he has this song called "Been Sick." So he's been sick, so he continues to be ill.
It's a dope play.
It's a continuation.
It's a dope play. So
no, skill wise, technically wise. I mean, what his big attributes, if you want them to stand out, especially for So Sick, is syllables, not word play, like, you know, the word associations and making words sound like other words, but how he's able to connect words and put them together. But flow wise, he knows the greats, and he's not necessarily emulating them, but he's definitely letting you know who influenced him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pun. I feel Nas and Eminem and cannabis.
Yeah.
Cannabis. He throws cannabis in there here and there on different tracks, but this one in particular, I feel like he went super pun and threw everything else he had on there. But everything is bundled together. I'm trying to get the lyrics, but he's not here, so we have to fucking imagine what he was saying.
So we're gonna talk about "Sick" as our first track, and from the beginning of this, the sampling is even dope, you know, because he's sampling, I believe, Sesame Street here. In the beginning, there's like a little melody going on where they're saying,
"I'm sick."
Even before that, they're like, "Don't doubt the rhyme" or something like that.
Rhyme the rhymes or something like that.
Yeah,
you have to rhyme all the rhymes.
Nobody can doubt the rhyme or something to that effect.
Yeah, I'm surprised with all the Sesame Street samples that he had. That at the end, he's like, "This album was brought to you by viewers like you and PBS." Because it's like a lot of Oscar the Grouch, Grover, Bert, Ernie.
Oh, yeah, he has, exactly. The Grouch, Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah.
But, so Bert and Ernie, like, I'm sick. I'm
sick.
You're sick.
Like you're sick.
You got it. Oh, you got it? Boy, you must have got it from who's sick? Oh, man. And the way that plays right into the beat, dun-na. Oh, it's such a nice setup.
He's the reason why a lot of the IE rappers used to use my verse disperses.
Yeah.
Either it was the first bar at the end, it was at the end or the beginning. Verse disperse. It was always
verse disperse it.
He starts it off as my verse disperses. The worst curses a person hurts worse than the first virgin's privacy purse bursting.
What? Exactly. It sounds like a tongue twister.
Now, the first instance you hear this, gentleman,
Peter Piper picked it like.
I want to get your guys' perspective on this as well. I think Benefit's ultimate, like, special attribute with this is that his delivery to this is super passionate.
Yes.
Almost like he is almost doing it from a space of frustration.
Yeah, like he knows this is the one you have to hear first.
To your point, I was thinking about these lyrics. I was like, I can't spit these lyrics and it come out the same. Like, it got to come out of Benefit's mouth for this to work. Because I was thinking about, like, you know, my verse disperse, it's not going to sound the same as him spitting it for some reason.
When someone raps like this, it's rooted in a fact of, like, this is all me. This is all authenticity.
Right.
But it comes from a place of, like, I want to rap this.
You could tell he has the chip on the shoulder. Yeah. Like, it's there. It's there.
I mean, but do you know how hard it is to rhyme that shit?
Yeah.
As fluently as he's written it, and then it actually makes sense mentally. Like, that's the one thing at the time being We were all super hard on the rhyming thing because that was like the newest technology. It wasn't the new, but like the multi-syllable to the point of exhaustion. That felt like that was a perfect time around 2000s. And he's doing it in a clean fashion, man. Sometimes you have to realize you got to be bracketed in those bars, man, and everything has to connect. And he did this shit exactly how Pun would have did it. Like, how can you do this in one breath?
Exactly. And that's the thing is, I felt like he was like, because at the time, a picture at this time, like these rhymes haven't really been explored yet. And he's kind of coming into uncharted territory, throwing out words that you haven't heard yet.
Privacy purse.
Yeah, privacy purse.
First Virgin's privacy purse burst.
That's like... That's like 50s sex ed. You're like, don't let guys touch your privacy purse, ladies.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and it's like now I'm
privacy.
In these times, I feel like sometimes you got to be even a little bit more creative with the word choices of what you rhyme. And at that time, the words that he's choosing, like, they just haven't been done yet, or mixed or rhymed in the way he did.
So even right after the privacy purse burst, I walk around the underground as a powerful thunder sound, wearing the low down, profound lyrical wonder crown. That's beautiful.
Sound like we were at church just now.
It doesn't sound atypical of what all the other rappers say,
right?
Of what all the other MCs say. Right. This is his own spin on saying, hey, look, it's not just a crown, it's a lyrical wonder crown. I'm not the king of the MCs. No, this is a lyrical wonder crown.
Let's get into depth, though. Wait, what if he's underground walking and he's the loudest sound underground? Isn't that a thunder sound? It's a rumble, right? He's an earthquake. He's underground making the loudest sound. So
putting emphasis on the low down.
Rumble.
Putting emphasis on the depth, too. The wearing the low down, profound lyrical wonder crown.
Come on, man.
Low
Underground
down.
king. So let's get it, man. He's brilliant in every aspect.
Fast listening, wrestling with precious expression, and stepping in special specimen, fresher than freshman. As a freshman, you're
as
like
a freshman,
you're
but
walking with a pet. Like, yeah, you heard him.
As a special specimen, fresher than freshman. And that's another thing. Every syllable is exactly where it needs to be. Some MCs make mistakes and they add that extra syllable. That extra syllable could throw your whole bar off because you want to say a or like or but, right? Instead, just say what you got to say, man. I just want y'all to know that. Fresher than freshman, not fresher than a freshman. Saves you space. But anyway, like I mentioned,
the combos here. Obvious overdoses, coasted and covert oceans, explosives, or posters flying them. Your promotional posters.
It sounds like cannabis with Big Pun's delivery, right? That's what it feels like. Like it's that like overextended shit, man.
Yeah.
But also he's doing a lot of the alliteration too, right? He's going crazy on the alliteration. He did the earlier. He said privacy purse. Then we go down to
even where he goes skillful.
Overdose. Oh yeah. Obvious overdosage or obvious overdosage.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Coasting over oceans. So he's playing off of the alliteration real dope. Skillfully killing, willfully drilling, syllable spilling, really feeling really upsettable, biting his edible stilling.
Walking around the planet, rocking the ground like granite. Cocking my sound cannon and stopping the sound famine.
The sound
famine. I wanted to stop there.
What is the sound?
I wanted to stop there because audibly what you're hearing, it does sound like it's a sound cannon. That's what it sounds like right now.
Yeah.
And he's describing that, and then he's stopping the sound famine.
Yes.
Like, just the landscape, it was famine.
So deprived.
And then here comes benefit delivering to you. Like, that is dope, bro.
That's just I like a great image with words.
Right.
Man.
And this next line too is dope. Deliberate and considerate etiquette, benefits, belligerent, spit, and laxative
excrement.
Laxative excrement. And that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you're getting a bunch of like all over.
But it's
the insulting phrase would be diarrhea mouth. But this is this is one of the very few instances you want this diarrhea.
Right.
It's just
exactly.
This is a lyrical cornucopia, if you will. This is something that you would want to hear. This is us. If we get the Benefit album for the first time hearing this, it's like at our age when we heard No 2, good Lord, it was a lot.
Yeah. And at the time, man, he had all the new tech, man. He was dope. Dove in a frozen ocean, fell below ocean. The one chosen who rose, exposing the flow erosion. The flow is eroded. I'm exposing.
The hook is so
flow erosion.
simple, but so dope too, dude. I have no complaints about that. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so we got the alliteration on every bar.
Yep.
Nice, nasty, sweet, sick,
And it fit.
banging, busting, dope, disgusting.
Oh, look at that.
So
look
he,
at
yeah,
and it
he's just
fits
playing
his
off.
delivery skill too, because you still like, even with him going from the verse to the chorus, he still has that same presentation with his voice. But this is a chorus that is complementary to that delivery too.
Yeah, dude.
Because you want him to just keep rapping, just keep going, put it in a chorus, go for it.
But this is the one that I feel like he did the most, and everything following, he doesn't overwrite like this one. This feels like the most.
It's like
this
when,
feels like his single almost, if not a single. Like
Yeah.
he really wanted to show who he was.
Yeah, dude. I lead an expedition and vision and competition and prison and delivering, withering, rhyme littering. Rhyme littering.
Rhyming every
just littering rhymes. Like, who's thinking of this? Littering rhymes, bro. Littering rhymes.
You're getting
That's
your
how
rhymes
much.
everywhere, bro. Pick up your rhymes, man. Just littering rhyme. Delivering, withering, rhyme litterings.
Withering rhyme. Withering. Dude,
Those poor rhymes
sicker
are-
than liquor and medicine, blurring, blistering, leave your lights flickering quicker than strobes you're tripping in.
Does the strobes, because you'll be tripping in the strobes if you're partying, doing like ecstasy at a club. So look how much you have to think about some shit, right? Right? What strobes are you talking? He's talking about strobe lights, man, that you're tripping in.
The high appointed, stylonoid, with ill delivery, ointment on point with this joint, like jointed presidential appointments.
All right, listen. That line right there, as dope as it sounds, if another cat does it and if he delivers it wrong, we call him an over rhymer, right? We make fun of him. I don't know why, for him, I think his delivery and just how well he was doing so far, this doesn't sound goofy to me.
Yeah.
But I do hear cats trying to pull off that pun, and it just kind of sounds bad because they sound like they just put every rhyme they thought of in a row.
You know what's funny too is in one of the tracks here, he actually talks about that, like people trying to bite him, but when you bite him, you might as well call your album
I bid benefit
illegitimate or something,
illegitimate.
or like or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was a dope flip.
It's on proceed with caution. We'll
Yeah,
get
it was a dope
when we
flip.
cross that bridge. We'll get to it.
Yeah, that was a
Bigger and badder, better than all your golden cheddar ones, spread and wing like medicine men with ancient tribal lettering.
Because in the ancient tribes they had medicine men,
Yep.
so it's not random shit.
Yeah.
You know, I have to rescue him in areas that sound far fetched. He's actually right there, man. Everything he says, like to me, he sounds like cannabis. It's just, you know, how cannabis is always trying to push the mind state so far. It's not like he can punch you and you fall. He has to punch you, and a building behind has to take damage, right? It's always that anime extra shit.
bigger, badder, and better than all your golden cheddar. When spread and wing like medicine men in ancient tribal. Yeah, man. Man, dude is nice, man. And this, imagine this is like, this is when I don't know what grade we were in, but I think high school right? High school. And so we're hearing this.
We were fresher than freshmen back then.
Freshman.
So we're hearing this and it's like, damn. Like,
His
who's this
only
guy?
His only thing that you'll notice in this verse is that there's a lot of the punching
Cut-in.
there's a
cut-ins.
lot of punching that you mentioned, but it's with
It's
this
still
style,
executed,
it's like
and there's
it's
nothing
almost
wrong-
a given.
And there's nothing wrong with punchings either.
You just
There's
notice
nothing
it.
wrong-
No,
Yeah, you just notice it.
Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it.
You just
but
notice
yeah.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as dense as this joint is, it's fine.
And now I wanted to ask you, Andre, because last week we did the episode on Big Pun and everything, and Big Pun has a style like we were just mentioning. But I wanted to ask you about Big Pun and like Mark brought up the thing that Cannabis was talking about him about, like he had this special ability to like
The breath control.
Yeah, continuously do it. Like
yeah.
that's pretty crazy. So I don't know. I just wanted some of your thoughts about Big Pun since we're on this topic of the style.
Big Pun was like cosmically designed by the gods to be who he was, because certain verses that he does requires a huge amount of breath control, or you have to punch in a bunch of times if you want to do it yourself. And when it comes to Pun's rhyme style, though, it's like he accents his syllables so perfectly, man. Everything sounds staccato, and that's that staccato sound. His staccato is just rhythmically pleasing, right? It sounds like a machine gun going off. And every track he's done, even commercial songs, still he was able to rhyme at a huge level, and it sounded not like natural. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to how Pun puts it down, I just always remembered his rhyme style mattering the most. Meaning, like, his pen was so crazy with the patterns, I wanted to see where he would have went if he kept writing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when he passed away, it felt like we got a very special version of a rhyme, like a rhymer. And I feel like a lot of people took it and grew it, but I wish I could see what Pun would have did with it if he kept going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he was very good at this balance of commercial and fucking ultra rhymer. You got me?
Yeah.
The rhyme, and also the density of rhymes compared to how much he has to spit in a bar. We can't do it ourselves. You know, he's like a mutant. You can't do certain moves he does. Yeah. So yeah, Pun is untouchable.
I was telling Mark, like the only person I could think that came close to that style, like I thought immediately just a Benefit. Like that was like the closest person I could think that came out with it like that. But Benefit, obviously, we do hear him punching in, but there's nothing wrong with punching in.
Right,
either.
exactly.
Do you think that not copyright? Well, copyright is actually a very great artist like is very dense with the rhymes. I think copyright technically could get that close with rhymes, but
copyright
tone deaf definitely could be close to that level of rhyming.
True, that's very true. Actually,
if I want to be a nerd about it, when you rhyme a 3-syllable, when you knock out a 3-syllable, you can squeeze a whole bunch of those in a single bar. But if you want to be all clever like Open Mike Eagle and rhyme 9 syllables, then it sounds like you're only rhyming the end of the bar because you're not, hibbity bibbity lyrically. That's 3 syllables. Hibbity bibbity lyrically, right? Compared to I am the greatest lyrically. I am amazing, kill MCs, right? You're not hearing the whole thing all the way through. You're only hearing those last few syllables. Right. So when you hear my man Benefit, he's doing the smaller rhymes and he's just condensing them. So 3 syllables and 4 syllables. Put them all into the bar. You can squeeze off a few more than pause. You can squeeze off a few more compared to huge, dense rhymes. So yeah, I love how he does it.
You know what's crazy as we talk about this? I mean, I've been writing this track and I got really dense with it, but then I got so dense with it, it didn't sound like it matched the beat anymore. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't feel natural. It felt too like I was just going really, really like dense with it. Too dense, as a matter of fact.
It was a love ballad too.
Yeah. So family. Like now I'm trying to like rework it and try to like kind of take some words out and try to, repiece it to still fit the beat naturally. So I that just speaks to the degree of difficulty it is to make it come off precise, and just fit this beat so well while being dense. Because there's that piece to it as well that happens.
If I can add to what your situation is, usually when I'm teaching these guys, the problem is, they might be over rhyming on an emotional song, right? It might be like, some minor chords on a piano and, somber drums, and they want to rhyme. I'm the illest of the street, kill him with the beat, beat. Like, no, you can't. It doesn't work that way, right? You got to spread those joints out, let it breathe. But you get a little more, 90 BPM, you get some more noise in the background, you got them drums bouncing you, then you can run off the bounce. In most people's situation, though, it's that additional syllable that throws off everything that doesn't belong there. So sometimes they'll be riding cat, hat, a cat, a bat, a cat, and then they throw themselves off, right? But really, it's more so about the relationship of your syllables and the timing of the syllables to the beat. And after a long time of doing this, you'll learn that syllables are just drums. It's nothing but drums. So Migos, they're just triplet drums. Bone Thugs and Harmony, just triplet drums. It's just triplets, right? I did 4s. I know. Don't catch me on that. But doing triplets, man. So it's all rhythmic. That's why when you hear Benefit, it sounds like he might have been trained in music. When you listen to Tone Deaf, he definitely sounds like he was trained in music. They're all locked on time with the beat and the rhythm. So
that's for free.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we got the next track, which is Proceed with Caution.
Yeah.
This is the one, man. This is the one right here.
This is intro to Benefit 101.
Right.
Possibly one of the best verses in hip hop.
Great intros as well. Like it's at all costs. At all costs. Like damn. Like at all costs. At all costs.
Yeah, you get speechless trying to explain what's going on here. Trying to be in this gentleman's shoes when he pops off a verse that goes professional up in the decimal, a decimal above extraterrestrial audible vessels for blood audible missiles and vocal dismissals.
Right there. I liked
how English is that?
I liked his little pause for blood, and then he continued on. There was just like a little pause that gave it that little accent because he's going like professional up in the decibel, but the extraterrestrials audible vessels, and then for blood, and then he goes back into he rhymes blood. with something down here.
If you check your Bibles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check your
For
Bibles.
blood, audible missiles, and vocal dismissals.
Turn to verse 2. And check.
Benefit special edition, verse 1. Chapter 2. Like pistols tearing through MC's skeletal bristles. Everything, it sounds overwhelming, but if you like break it down, it all makes sense.
Oh, it
He's
was
just,
above. That was weird.
yeah.
Decimals above. Extraterrestrials, audible vessels for blood. Like that.
Yeah.
Was, you know.
I laugh every time I hear
Turn
like
your
just
Bibles to
up the decibel, a decimal above extraterrestrial audible vessels. So
So he has like extraterrestrial like lungs or something?
no.
Or he can
He's upping the volume
that.
so high that
point.
it can reach
Oh,
supersonic.
I see what you're saying. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That
I thought he was talking about like his like lungs or his insides
Yeah.
were like
No, that's something
extraterrestrial.
cannabis would say.
Okay.
That's what,
Yeah,
his extraterrestrial vocal cords would produce.
He's matching the sounds
that
of
you-
what the
He said that about Big Pun, basically.
Yeah.
yeah.
for blood, audible missiles and vocal dismissals, like pistols tearing through MC's
Bristles.
skeletal gristles.
Grizzles, your grizzles.
It's a presentation of just
Ripping through your kids'
Brain tissues,
your
leaving
kids.
them a bit retarded with personal issues, personal misuse.
you can always say first bar. You could say I'm a pro at this, going higher than extraterrestrials get. You can say that, or you could be like I'm a
exactly.
professional, up in the decibel, a decimal above extraterrestrial audible vessels.
That's another level.
Pick one.
Yeah,
Pick
That's
one.
another level.
and that's benefits lane,
That's,
bro.
Yeah, that's benefits lane.
It's like let's go with it's like you're drifting off a cliff. You want to play it safe, or you want to like do that stunt
he's-
where you're
he's
like
doing the stunt.
tires on the
Exactly.
almost teetering off
Right.
the edge.
On the verge of death. Like you don't know if you're gonna die or not.
One
Oh,
slip
like Dom
up,
Toletto
one-
type shit.
Yeah, one slip up,
Yeah.
you're off the edge, and that whole bar gone.
Gone.
You don't, we won't even know who benefit would be if you just fucked that up.
Exactly. That's so true.
You know.
Yeah.
But this is one of those instances where it's like, good Lord, everything's perfectly placed. This is why this album, this gentleman is memorable, because he's up a decimal above extraterrestrial audible vessels.
And also too, he says something about the tracks are pressed and ready to
Oh,
floods
here
the
we go,
brain
yeah.
like cocaine ingested heavy.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna flood them. What books did this fool
Invest
read,
in
man?
any bit of protection when testing Benny.
Benny.
I battle plenty, and everyone is rattle empty. Without a skeleton to hold them up, they had to tempt me. Oh man,
Just getting
it's
iller and
that's a bit
iller.
of cannabis.
Yeah.
Like in the same token.
And then correctly spitting at me like a jet ski. Go ahead and press me. Bones crunch like Nestle.
like a
Oh,
fucking
shout out to me.
Nestle.
Arrest me, sentence me, and lock me away. Yeah, dude. This guy's he's going in right now.
And
He's going
then
in.
the another memorable line in this verse is, by the way, when I spit, don't get hit by a stray, because every random word I spray could shatter your vertebrae. Every verb I spray is a miss called herbaway. Wordplay that'll keep MCs on the curb all day.
Yeah, that sounds like cannabis. Yeah, that's can, man.
He's
There
and
it
he
is.
and,
There it
and
is
he
right there.
he fucks with Star Trek too. You get a lot of Spock and Captain Kirk and the unnecessary emotion. So illogical. Proceed with caution.
You got it.
So unemotional.
He's not from here, man. He's not from here.
So I want
It's like Spock.
this is verse 2 comes on with
I love this beginning. Behold benefit.
yes.
Behold. Like that's what
I
every
love
great
that.
verse in the Bible says. Behold, it's like, behold benefit. Like the old degenerate are healed by the power of his subject and predicate. Who is saying stuff like that? Nobody is saying stuff like that.
You know, it's sad because I just feel like it's perfect for its time.
We don't get
you can't duplicate it. I don't feel like rappers rapping like this today would get love.
we don't get any war for the Civil War. So when he goes the project deliberate whole of the rhetoric, MCs will fall like the soul of Confederates.
I started getting deep with it.
Yeah.
Which, dude, at that point, I started saying like, dude, he's more than just battle rap. Like you hear like there's knowledge he's kicking as a youngster too. I believe it's about 19 right here.
Shit, he was destroying us
Yeah.
at this age, man. No, for real. Like honestly, you know, his educational background is impressive to me.
Yeah.
Because this anything pre-internet or pre-cheating with the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you can give them more points for it. There's nothing wrong with using the internet today, but it's not as easy back then to write a verse as it is today to write a verse with AI.
Yeah, because you can open up the dictionary, look up the word, never find the meaning to the word, but still attempt to rhyme it, and then have it to where it's like, just put it in there. Right. No, this gentleman is saying,
and then you see
these verses won't hold ground if he wasn't putting them in the correct places, giving them the meaning, having the meaning go on to the next part of where his verse, where he wants us to go with the verse that he's spitting.
Like Andre makes me think back about it. Like you're talking about that time. It's considering all the words he's spitting out here. You don't. It's not like
There's
today.
no reference.
It's not like today, like where I can look at what rhymes with such and such. You'll get like 50 things that rhymes with such and such. There's not that.
It takes
you
the
literally
research
have to
for it.
do the research to get these. You know, if you don't know already.
Exactly. So what do you have?
build that.
What do you have? You have do you have a dictionary, a thesaurus, maybe?
Right.
Are you really utilizing them at this time, or are you going off of some shit you got from school and you just happen to be in college?
At that time,
that helps a lot too. A lot of MCs that are
Yeah.
like rappers in college, they just happen to be in that like super educational vibe.
Yeah, after science class, everyone was rapping about mitochondrias, just because it was a big word.
I think definitely at that time it was a lot of the dictionary thesaurus. I mean, that's like, that's Eminem's time too. Like I think around that time it definitely was that. I know I for sure would use a thesaurus and definition or the I would see my disposal. Like I would definitely use that.
I remember the best gift I ever got was it was about this big, yay big, the complete rhyming dictionary. Ooh. Oh my gosh, I had that with the dictionary next to it. Oh, bro, it was on.
Yeah.
It was.
That's like the almanac.
Real,
that's like the almanac from.
It's like the Game Shark.
Yeah,
Game Shark too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it was fun like that. Yeah. So this, you could tell gentlemen that B.E.N.E.F.I.T was.
B.E.N.E.F.I.T has been a fit to the game.
The intellect of the intellect of B.E.N.E.F.I.T is prevalent amongst these verses he's established in settlement. If you bite on top for being whack and drop, call it I bit benefit and made pop, and you get a hit, but being illiterate, ignorant, and coming out illegitimate. So
that's
it called out that fast in a small bracket that quick too.
One. Illegitimate. Oh, and when I hear
and made pop,
when I hear that, I think of Illmatic. Everybody wants to be Illmatic. Well, he said, "You copy me, you're gonna be illegitimate,
yes,
illiterate, anything but Illmatic." Basically, like dude.
And then he lets you know that, hey, this comes with a curse because it says, "My wrath will wreak havoc on your family. Gradually, everyone will die through a homicidal tragedy,
long and vital legacy."
Just so happenly,
he's just going hard. Like he just disintegrates himself.
Long and vital legacy, prophecy, place me, presidents of MCs, genocide agency.
Filling me is like filling a flame in hell. Dude. Casting a demon spell so MCs are dreaming well.
That's crazy. That's crazy right there. That's like Big L right there.
Right,
like,
that is some Big L shit.
Right
definitely Big L.
Right.
Definitely Big L.
Well, let me ask you guys this too. So we're going on his delivery, and off the jump, we know that this guy kind of sounds like he's our age.
Right.
If he sounded, how would we, like, if you're trying to put yourself in the shoes as a kid, how are you going to take it if this gentleman sounds older spitting like this?
He's just going to sound like another MC.
It wouldn't be the same. Like, it wouldn't have inspired me so much.
Right.
Because it inspired me because I felt like he was
I think that's the lightning in the bottle for what B.E.N.E.F.I.T did.
Yeah. It's like his legacy is part of the idea that we were all the same age.
Yeah.
At least to the belief of his, like, it's really a myth, guys. It's kind of funny.
He's giving us hope.
No, seriously, like, imagine me giving you a CD and just saying, yo, this dude is ill. We don't know nothing about him, but we know he's in the IE somewhere, man. Exactly. He's in the IE somewhere.
Joel, so you're the one that started that rumor.
And then we fuck around, find out he's over here, man. He's not even nowhere near us. So, yeah, I feel like that's part of his legacy. If he sounded older, he would just sound like a dope MC, but he sounded like he really went to our school. So with that in my head, I really wanted to do more. Like, I made more beats. I actually got inspired because I was like, if he's this good and he's us, then I can do it. Yeah, I really want to see. If he was older, I think we would have lost some esteem a little bit.
Yeah. I want to see how this marinates with everybody and how people think about that. Because I put out this. featuring that hip hop bloopers volume 1.
The people's elbow. Just
For the rest of the shit, it's just all broken.
Stone Cold showed up on That's Hip Hop podcast. You hear that? The glass broke. He didn't show up.
what was going on over here that I had to go like
I don't
this?
know. That's enough.
He was going to prove a real good point right
He
there.
was just ready. He was
I put out that question because it's something that I really do believe that his youth gave everybody hope in a sense to where it's like, damn, if he did this like this and he got 2000s viral, then damn, maybe we can too.
Definitely. I definitely think it had a lot to do with that because
maybe Nas did the same. Nas probably had the same thing going with him with Illmatic because he's 20. He got all the 5 mics from the source.
Very true. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. This is kind of like that instance where we get this appeal of this guy that's just like, damn, this guy's nice, man. We don't even know who he is.
And I don't know, that really what made this benefit journey so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he was older, it really would probably flop. It probably wouldn't work because he would just sound like everything that we already are listening to. So yeah, I gotta say we need him to be our age for it to really hit.
Yeah.
And I think I've just learned something about the new generation now. It just hit me in my head, like the new generation don't want to see anybody older than 25 talking to them lyrically. They want to see somebody that looks like they go to school with them, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
I see
like,
what you're saying.
oh, you already been here.
Right.
You know, you don't got the freshest sound. That's probably what it is. Because I remember hearing Benefit just made me feel like, oh, we can all do it.
Yeah.
But remember, this is the time where it was hard to do this. It was like
Andre
after
right
Benefit, the
That's
only
a point.
other dude at the time was Mark dropping projects,
Right.
and he inspired people to drop projects. He
Right.
was one of the few to drop press projects. So like, it was not really common to do this.
Yeah.
It wasn't
I'm
common.
humbled.
He starts crying.
No, I think
It's
that's a
very-
really.
yeah,
I
it's
think that's
real.
actually a really good point that you made because that's the thing is like a lot of the veteran MCs that we have out today, you feel like they're trying to relate to the younger generation, but it doesn't. From my point of view, it doesn't really seem like it's all the way working. And I was kind of puzzled by that because I was just like, they're dope though. Like, how does it not work? But to Andre's point, like how we were with Benefit, like this guy, we felt like we were in the same age group. It felt like we grew up with them. That's kind of what we wanted.
Yeah.
We wanted somebody we could be like, yo, he did it. We could do it too. Like,
The best example I got in my head right now is the Mario joint wouldn't have worked with an older guy.
Oh, yeah,
It would have been kind of corny and it would have been really
Creepy,
like
like,
embarrassing.
weird.
Yeah. But when I listen to this one,
Awkward,
it sounded like my homie made it. It sounded like the
Yeah,
homie made it. And it's like, that's why I did Mario. If we played it for an old head would listen to it and go, this is some corny shit, you know?
Yeah.
But if anybody from that period listened to the Mario song, it was just funny.
Exactly.
It was like the
I just
Eminem
wanted
scene.
him to show up at the Jedi Mind Tricks concert. He was there.
He could have been
swear
there.
I saw
I felt
him.
his essence.
What if he was there?
And what if he had dreads?
He was the guy we were talking.
if he had
What if he was
dreads?
that guy we were talking to that night?
Yeah,
She's like, yeah, I make beats.
yeah.
That-
The ironies. It was him.
Wait, I can imagine it too. Because we
he did
cornered
say-
this guy. We
yeah.
like cornered some guy and just started like, what do you know about hip hop?
Yeah.
No, heck no.
No, we didn't do
That was the guy.
What do you do with hip hop?
He did us
What do
a
you
solid.
do?
He did us a solid taking a photo of us, and then we finally realized he was kicking it by himself.
Yeah,
so I
he
was
was
like, heck no, like, let's go over there.
We came over there bombarded him.
Benefit. Imagine that was.
That was him. Warp to World 6ix9ine. A lot of people are going to hear this song before they hear the Benefit album. Because it
I agree with
attributes to the video game fandom, it attributes to the Super Mario fandom as well.
True.
This is the first time I legitimately hear the intro to like a lot. This is the first time I hear a lot of Mario samples, Super Mario Brothers samples in a hip hop song.
It's funny.
And it sounds
He's
good.
reminiscing about his time in his childhood when he was attempting to beat this game, and he was, imagining that that Mario would get some play if he beat the game, right?
Yeah.
And so that was the whole concept of this, which was just pulled off so well. It was just done masterfully. Like this right here is just like, it's still to this day, dude. It still hits everything from the samples, all the little details to this. Like
In this song, this
It's
song
fine
lasts. This song lasts, and it's going to last the test of time because they don't really ever change the Super Mario makeup at all.
They don't.
No.
They
It's all.
keep
It's
it
either.
running.
It's
like,
either.
the
we just
same.
had the Mario movie. It's still relevant. Like,
Yeah.
it's still. to
He's
this
still
day.
busting blocks with his head. He's
Yeah.
still.
exactly.
Princess
So mad
Peach
that-
is still getting lost in the sauce with Bowser.
Yeah.
I mean, and then think about it, like the humor to this, like think about the chorus, like just listen to that. Like, you know, it's a computer generated, like,
Sounds like I
you
thought
will,
Stephen Hawking was the feature.
if you, yeah.
Hey, but so that's another thing.
It was
That's
speaking spell, wasn't it?
From a producer standpoint, I was like, how the fuck did he do that? Because I was producing at the time.
Right.
So I was like, no, that's hard. That's not easy to do because he had to get the speaking spell to say the words, right? And you can't make it say pussy, so you have to make it say puss, and then he had to use the letter C. So he had to sample chop. Like,
Have you ever,
I was trying to figure out how to make the beat.
have
So
you ever seen those little things where you pull the thing, the lever, and it
and
like,
it rotates.
yeah,
the
like
cow
some
goes.
people make it like curse when they like put it on a certain word and they cut it off and then like,
They're remixing the cow goes.
exactly.
Fuck.
Yeah, so that's basically like what he's doing. In
Yeah.
other words, like he's
But
manipulating it.
But
to
at the
fit.
time, I'm like, production wise, that's not easy to do. And I didn't know at the time, the mystique was Benefit produced and did everything himself. So I'm like, how the fuck did he make this beat, man? How did he do that? Yeah, in my world, Benefit's really fun. It's like he's like an ominous creature, you know. But yeah, the beat was really more important. But I remember we all laughed at the song. It was like really immature, but it's perfect. But the production, if you guys listen to it, there's moments where his syllable count matches the sound effects, and he does it on purpose. Like he does those 2-syllable spurts of words, and he'll make a sound go choo choo, and he'll say 2 words at the exact same time as the effect. So it's like he added the sounds after he rapped. So all the sounds in the background, the pausing and everything, he just brought more atmosphere to the song. Him stopping the song and doing the pause and then starting the song again. At the time, that was crazy. Like production wise, that was really hard to do.
Mario.
So yeah, it was crazy. Like the beat on this bitch is like more important than anything.
I want to go to the middle part of the verse because I think it actually like correctly summarizes this whole part of this the intro to the song. Mario really wants to get her in bed so bad he's busting up bricks with his head. He just wants sex, so forget the wedding bells, jumping on little mushroom men and turtle shells, dropping down green pipes and secret passageways, making his move to the end where the final castle lays. So, like, you know, every time you conquer the castle, there's going to be Toad there saying, oh, this is the wrong one. Gotta go to the next one.
Bro, it's masterful.
To the final castle.
Yeah, no, but every description on it, man, it just it's like your childhood coming back to life.
He just brought the essence of the game to this, but also with the twist. You know, that's like at the time when we were about around this age, it was you know, a little silly, but it's actually it was kind of cool, and you know the way he twisted it. I did the math too on his because I'm trying to find out more about this guy, right? And so he said it's 1986 and I'm in the first grade, so I did the math. How old he would be today? He would be 43 today, which, you know, he could still put out whatever he is doing. Obviously, we found that he was, but I think he was able to bring the essence of the game to the track, and just
and then with the beat and everything, it's like you're really watching him play.
Yeah,
all these creatures that attack him cut Mario slack. Oh shit! Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yes,
I'm gonna beat the game if it takes me all summer.
It's hard to get laid if you.
The truth,
hard to get laid if you're a plumber. That's why I gotta work extra hard for my man and get him to the end so he can stop using his hand. So yeah, but here's the funnier part about it. I mean, concept wise, we all like Mario. I think at the time when I heard it, what made it more creative, if you want to be an artist, the visual on it is just. Usually we saw Mario as a kid's game at that time. It was really fun. I think this was the first track I ever heard where somebody insinuated it was all about sex.
yeah.
And I think that's just what made it funnier for me. And the struggle for it. He's really just trying to get some ass.
It's kind of like the movie Kids, but also put into this Mario context. Like, you know,
definitely.
and that's how it feels.
And because everything he says is descriptive to the struggle of being Mario, right? So Mario doesn't want to get hit, he'll shrink. Princess don't want to fuck a little kid, I think. Right, but he's basically saying, I got to stay strong, got to stay the big man. I can't take a single hit if I want to catch her. So to me, I felt like even then, it was a funny, jokey situation. But then as a writer, it's like all the pieces of the puzzle came together.
And it's dope because, you know, that story is, you know, at that time, you know, Disney is always about the prince trying to save the princess and all this other stuff. So, you know, beyond even the game, you can relate as you trying to get a female or just trying to talk to her or whatever. Like you can still relate it, you know, in another way.
Yeah, that's where it's genuinely rooted in you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
so it's like it's not even one dimensional. You know, I mean, what more can I say?
Wait, but Bowser's trying to get head right now from the princess. But if it was up to me, that shit'll stop this instant.
Right.
And it's funny because the Mario movie, literally, the plot line is Bowser's trying to marry Peach.
It's like they heard the song.
Right.
And
If you see the Mario movie today, Bowser's trying to fuck Peach. For real.
It's like they heard the song, Dre, and then they like formed a script around it.
Movie inspired by Benefit. Yeah. I really like, to me, this is just clever, man. It's a clever play.
A little shout out to even Super Mario Brothers 3. Like that last level was like, I hate the cannons that shoot at you constantly, and I hate platforms that fall out from below me.
Yeah, that fucking level sucks, bro.
All the worthwhile just to see Mario smile, standing next to the princess butt naked profile. That's why it's my crusade to get Mario laid. Super Mario Brothers, best game ever made.
Yes, man, that's fire.
That is fire.
That's fire, man.
That's fire.
This is one of those joints. As stupid as it is, it's just
it's fun.
I'm not gonna lie.
Funny,
I'm led by nostalgia. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not the most lyrical song. It's kind of like a "Hi, my name is" kind of thing.
It is, yeah.
Playful, especially playful.
What's crazy is like that little line we just said. He won't get something. I think like it's such a simple rhyme, but it in all in all, when you take this all together, the project this right here is dope alone. But then you got this album surrounding it, which just makes it like, dude was battle rapping us, right? Then he takes us to some humor, like this, for example.
Right.
And then he goes into some more serious context. Yeah. Like, dude brought he gave you a full display.
He gave you a real album.
Yeah. I think you need to check a few of those boxes for an album to remain memorable like that.
Exactly.
You know, as a rapper, especially as a rapper, you can be one dimensional, but that attributes to your audience,
shtick,
and there's like an actual ceiling to that sometimes.
True. Or sometimes people might get tired of it, or you might get tired of it, whatever.
Our last week example with B.E.N.F.I.T, I mentioned plenty of times, this is the first instance that of highly lyrical gentlemen achieved platinum status.
Right.
And that would have changed the landscape. In this instance with B.E.N.F.I.T, he touches all the bases, but I think it falls under the marketability. Maybe he just, maybe hip hop wasn't his full forte at the time. Maybe he was just a dope engineer and he's like, yeah, I like rapping too, but he was a really good rapper.
Right.
Or like something. Like he was the first rapper to be successful but had something to fall back on. And then he went to that. I don't know.
Yeah, I got you.
but I would love to think that it was just about the rapping for him. I don't know if that's the case or not. I would he mentions that in one of these tracks, that it's about the love for rap. It's not about the money for him.
Yeah.
And so I would like to believe, that is the reason. And if that is the true reason, then you know what I mean? Like that, the love for it, just to put this out for the love of it.
Yeah.
I feel that there's a reason why I'm working on a project and not, there's a reason because I have a love for it.
Yeah.
I like to believe he had a love for it, and that's the reason why we got such a great project, and that's my opinion on my take on it.
I want Christopher Nolan to do his spin on the B.E.N.F.I.T story.
I think that would be great.
It'll make it all
be like an anomaly of time and space. He dropped the classic album in this period of time.
Just gone.
And he's untraceable physically for this amount of years.
Yeah. He's kind of like
Christ.
Interstellar, where he's
like Jesus. He's like Jesus. He just disappeared and he comes back.
Well, he's stuck in the fifth realm. Like
my God. Dropping his rhyme books.
The
album was so cold that he got shifted into the fifth dimension.
I see it. That's
only
why
way
he
could communicate is through this album.
That's why.
Oh my God. Benefits behind this glass. Like, no, stop. I'm still sick. I don't think that there's a rapper that holds that kind of mystique, at this type of in this type of realm, if you will. Because we have the rappers that were made famous, died tragically.
Yeah.
But we also, in this particular example, we have the gentleman that achieved underground notoriety.
Yes.
And yet he's still thriving.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're still trying to figure out the intricacies of this album.
Imagine from his point of view, like
he's like,
here we are, like discussing his prior work in the past,
and he's like, I'm trying to make money today, guys.
Well, re-release special edition. make a press copy. Benefit.
Wait, well, I mean,
maybe it's the 30th. He could do the 30th anniversary, right?
It's coming.
I think
it's approaching.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Dre?
Oh, because I wanted to talk more about how Benefit might not have worked later years. There was an artist that came out for probably around the 2010s, if I'm accurate. His name was Captain Murphy. Really dope rapper. His style was really weird, and more of his style was about technique with production. When he rapped, his voice changed every like 2 bars to a new person. It was crazy. His sound was unbelievable. So nobody knew what he looked like, but he had this weird distorted voice. So we were like, who the fuck is he? We knew he was in the industry, but we couldn't catch him. We couldn't find this guy. And the mystery was going for a good year, I think. A good year, and he finally reveals himself at Low End Theory. Low End Theory's the beat show that they had in L.A. So he comes out in a luchador mask. It's fucking Flying Lotus. So, of course, we were thinking, like, early on when he was there, people were thinking it's Tyler, the Creator. Maybe, we weren't, Donald Glover, maybe. This rapper named Zero, this other guy from L.A. People were on Reddit looking for him, though. Imagine that. They were looking, where the fuck is this Captain Murphy guy? We can't find him. So, if Benefit were to come out in that same fashion, the faceless guy with this really dope album, the internet eventually will get you and force you out. Because Flylo got tired. He just was like, I'm tired of hiding. I don't like this anymore. Because people were really making crazy theories and chasing people down. Like going to Tyler, the Creator, like, I know you're Captain Murphy. And he's like, I'm not Captain Murphy. So imagine Benefit being that guy. In this
being
time.
hunted.
But no, I'm saying in 2010, I feel like there was more internet.
Sure.
More internet involvement.
Yeah.
There was more internet involvement. Whereas this was like the beginning of the internet, and we weren't utilizing it on such a
not that hyper
threaded
speed
scale.
Yet. Yeah, it wasn't hyper speed yet.
So
it was all just rumors.
It was more rumors, right? And it kind of really works. It works, the rumored style. It's like he was Doom's mask, and we were trying to find who was behind the mask.
I was going to say something related to that.
Yeah. And so the 2010s, Captain Murphy had a very similar situation. It was like, man, this album is crazy. He just dropped it out of nowhere, and people were just trying to find him. And I remember the journey, like they went through everybody they could think of, and eventually he just said, fuck it, I'm tired of this. So I think Benefit would have went through the whole struggle of trying to hide.
That's true.
Or maybe Benefit dropped the classic and was hurt that nobody told him it was dope. Can you imagine that shit? Nobody brought it up. Dude. Like, Benefit, this is the greatest album I've ever heard. Wait, not one person.
What if he was like, man, I can't wait to press this, and some guy just swiped it, pressed it,
and gave it out first?
Yeah.
Come on. Like, and imagine, what if he wanted to keep going and he didn't get to?
Coming up next, Inside Edition. That's Hip Hop Interviews Benefit with an all-inclusive interview.
Benefit, where you been, brother? Are you in the IE area, man? Where you at, man?
I was at Carter. I was at Carter.
I was in your class, G.
I was in your class. I was the TA.
The TA, man.
I was the TA.
I graded your papers, man. You don't remember?
I always gave you a B.
Benefit.
I was one of your English teachers. Where
I was the attendance guy.
I was the dean of students. The admin is one of administrators, security guards.
I was an IT. Stupid.
I was the janitor.
IT makes more sense.
Remember the janitor you call professor?
Oh man! So out of all this, man, what's our takeaways, man? Well, I'll start with you, Dre. What do you take away from this?
It's one of these really it's worth this podcast.
Yeah,
flash in the pan,
sure.
And he's not missing. He's actually easily available, and I think his legacy is so interesting that we simply just want this.
I was telling Mark that I was like, "Who's done a podcast on Benefit?"
Right.
It's needed.
Benefit is like
needed.
Honestly, I would call this a underground classic simply because of when it dropped, the way it hit my school, and the way that we were listening to it. It was like, wow, this guy is crazy. And then next thing you know, eventually all these features came out through me. So that sounded cocky as shit. I was doing production at the time. Damn. I wasn't rapping yet. So it got me closer to rap. But
we give you the credit.
It's beautiful, man. But the bedroom production, the bedroom album was very hard at the time to do, and he made it look very possible. And that was it. From that point forward, it just, everybody had the confidence.
Yeah, definitely set up the framework for a lot of. He just made the lyrical rapper ideology. He made it like easily accessible. He made me think I can do it. He made Andre, you Isaiah, think we can do it. He created the bridge to that. To some, the beauty about the whole thing is that like he was there for a moment, and just like the legend grew, and like all tall tales, you know, like you build them as high as you want, and I think the mystique about him's no longer there in terms of like we found out like he's easily accessible, which is the running thing of this whole thing. But I believe
Tupac's alive. We know where he lives now.
I believe that moment.
We can go to his house anytime.
I believe that moment that he was doing his thing in 2002. I mean, that was just, you couldn't duplicate that. It needed to be there during that place and time, and I'm glad to just be a part of that whole sound. I'd never want to be in a position where I'm an old man barely hearing Benefit for the first time. There's a privilege that I do get where I'm telling guys that really are into the underground hip hop scene as I am. And then I'm like, yo, do you remember Benefit? And they don't.
They don't.
I'm like, but that's, to me, I'm border patrol, bro. Hey, I'm checking in. And if you're like, Benefit for real? Like, I'll give you his URL to the full ass album. Yeah. Please listen to it
on hand,
because you're
in card form.
On hand and CD-ROM format.
I know. It's an album that I am really adamant about for people to listen to because it's just that impactful. This guy isn't Cannabis in terms of like mainstream popularity, but he's that underground star level. That I'm telling people, hey, look, you got to listen to Benefit. Like, well, stop dead in your tracks. We're listening to this. Give me the aux cord. Give me the Bluetooth, whatever your Bluetooth code is. We're connecting. I'm connected to your fucking audio right now because you're gonna learn today. You know, I'm that adamant about it when I tell people about that. So I check in people with Benefit sometimes.
Yeah, I want to say, like, for me, I think, to what you guys are saying, yeah, the fact that he's gone, missing after this album is like, it's built up that mystery that intrigues me to want to come back to this, or the nostalgia, even like Dre mentioned, it builds that up even more for me. Even the album cover, like, that takes me back to my early days of starting to rap and the technology we had at the time to record and everything like that.
Limitations we had.
Like the things we had to work with. So it brings me back to that. But at the same time, like, I know it's not just me. Like, if you're a hip hop head and you listen to this album, if these lyrics don't hit you, I have to question it. I have to question whether you're a hip hop head or not. And that to me is like, KRS said it best, was like, what I speak is it. I don't even write my he goes, my lyrics come from God. Yeah. And I highly believe that. Like, if you're an MC who's spitting ill, I truly believe, like, it's almost like a divine intervention thing happening right before our eyes. So I feel like that happened here. And without Benefit blowing up or getting all big, I feel like he could have got big. I feel like he could have got signed. I don't know all the details of what happened to that, but it's that level. It's that level for sure. So you don't want to miss this if you haven't heard it. Like, you don't want to let this slip by. So the time is worth listening to the full album.
Absolutely.
And everything he gives you is legit. You're not wasting time. Like, the beat's dope. The concepts are dope. The humor is dope. The lyricism is dope. And sure, there are some times, like we were saying, like, there's some rhymes in there that maybe might not even make a little sense, but it's to the credit of, like, that's what we did sometimes. We kind of like forced fed it a little bit. Yeah. But in the totality of this, it's a masterpiece. It's an underground masterpiece. So that's my takeaway on this.
Nice.
Good. We love you, Benefit. You got some love.
Yeah, you got mad love, Benefit.
Still,
but where you at, man? Still acting like he's missing still?
Come back, Benefit.
Dude,
We're still waiting for the Benefit concert.
yes. If Benefit throws that out, man, we're there. We're there.
Yeah, Benefit. If you want us to do just reach out, man.
Yeah.
We'll give you some love on an interview or something.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for supporting. We are dropping episodes every Monday. And if this is the first time of you guys checking us out, follow us, find us, do some research, and follow us on all platforms.
Read a paper.
Read a paper or something. But we really do appreciate the support and the love. We're going to continue on to the journey and finding the next album that we're going to discuss. Until next time, peace.